So excited for this. What's in the chat here? Oh, there we go. Thank you for oh, okay. Yeah, for sure, Manuela. Manuela just sent me a message. Yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, we have a directory page on the Fempreneurs website, and it gets a lot of traffic, actually. I kind of watch the traffic there. So if you are interested in listing your business, it is free. Go to yytfempreneurs.com/directory and yeah, submit your business listing there. Good morning, everyone. So good to see you. We'll just wait another minute or two for a few more people to jump on. It is day 4 of a very intense conference we're doing here, so they might need another minute or two to jump on. So Shannon, what is your like getting ready to present routine look like? Like, what do you do? Like, are you lots of caffeine, push-ups, what?
Do my hair and get my coffee.
Hair and coffee.
Yeah, with a little shot of rig hand double.
Nice. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Linda, are you in Cochrane? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. She was at the Make and Take, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've been looking at her face and I'm like, I think that's who I was sitting beside at the Make and Take. Okay.
It was Miss Linda.
Cool.
Linda runs a day home, so she's been hopping on and off of the Zooms throughout the day as she can, and her little kids have been giving her pretend snacks and helping her out.
Oh, good. I wish someone would give me pretend real snacks, actually.
Yeah, real snacks would be good.
I'm ordering from Maytab today for lunch. I'm like waiting for it. I'm like, it's only 8:30. I'm gonna.
You got a while.
No, I've been looking forward to it since last night. I made the mistake of like looking at Instagram before I went to bed. And their ad came up with all the food, their new post. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like the food's like steaming, and I'm like, oh, right now. I actually called the number at like 10:20. I was like, you never know. They didn't answer. All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We have a very incredibly exciting day again. Shocking. We've set the bar so high. I don't know how we're ever going to do this again, but and a big part of that is because we have so many women with so many different areas of knowledge. And Shannon is, of course, going to teach us about one of those important areas of knowledge as a fempreneur, and that is how to really get inside the mind of your ideal client or your existing clients and really make that lasting impression. And Shannon works with tons of business owners who do that, and they do it well, and she knows what works and what doesn't, and she's got a really fantastic presentation all put together for us. So thank you, Shannon, first of all, for overcoming the fear of doing this, because you are my hero, and I think it's so awesome that you know, I mean, we all know what it's like to push through the fear of doing something hard, but it needs to be celebrated. So I first of all just want to start by saying, Shannon, you're my hero.
Oh,
thank you. Because I know you haven't done anything like this like forever.
A really long time. Yeah.
So that is just so awesome. I know there was a mix of people who've done a lot of this and people who haven't, and Shannon's definitely one of the ones over here who hasn't. So you get extra credit, basically, is what I'm saying. But yeah, Shannon's had a fantastic business here in Cochrane for over 18 years. And she came to us from the center of the universe, Ontario, just kidding. Yeah, and so we're so happy to have her here, and her lovely daughter, Lindsay, is also on the call. Hi, Lindsay. They are a very powerhouse team here in Cochrane with all the wonderful work they do to help business owners get their brand out there. And of course, sports teams and charitable organizations and all of the different businesses and organizations that need what they do. We're just happy to have you here in town. So, and of course, wearing some beautiful Shannon Designs, stuff right now. I always have things that you make around, but that's the closest thing I have right now. So Shannon, take it away, girl.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And you know what? My practice presentation, I was terrified and I ran through it. And ask questions and didn't pause. But you know what? After watching more presentations, I'm not the only one that's nervous, and other people can do this if I can do it. And it has been since I was in school, so about 23 years since I've done any kind of presentation. But you know what? When I thought about it, I thought, I talk to people all the time, but it's in my space and not on camera. So that is one of my goals this year, is to get more comfortable with being in front of the camera, because I know what I'm talking about. It's just I got to get over myself and my fears and realize that maybe me sharing my vulnerability and that I'm a little bit scared that other people will do it too. So with that, I'm going to go to share my screen and start my presentation. Okay, just give me a sec. This is the stuff I'm still learning. All righty. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you about your brand. And you know what? Your brand is more than your logo, but your logo is an extension of you, and it's what represents your business. So it's all encompassing. It's all part and parcel of one. So when you get your logo and your brand kind of solidified, it gives you confidence to put yourself out there more. At least that's what I find. So I'm just going to give you a little summary of what we're going to go through, a bit about my story, the importance of branding, consistency in your brand, your logo, building a successful brand, using promotional products, kind of the how and why, and what to give. So you're going to see these two little symbols on my slides, and they're more a reminder of for me, but they'll kind of cue you as well. If you have pen and paper with you, when you see the little pencil, we're going to ask you to write some notes. And then the little chat bubble is just my cue to ask you guys some questions and get some feedback and input on my presentation and some of the things that I'm talking about. So my story, born and raised in Ontario, in a little town called Almont, just 40 minutes southwest of Ottawa. There's only still about 5,000 people there, so I knew everyone knew me. It was my comfort space. I grew up with had ready grown friends because we grew up together. So in 95, we moved to Calgary. My husband was offered a job to start an irrigation division at a company out here in Calgary. So we made the big move west. So we lived in Calgary for about 6 months, and Calgary was just too big for us, wasn't our thing. I didn't really know anybody out here, and I was having trouble feeling that connection. I was so homesick. The weekends were the worst. Fridays and Sundays, phone calls home, lots of tears. And Greg and I would drive a lot, and we found ourselves driving to Cochrane. So that's 15 minutes west. And that is where we chose to make our home. And that's where we wanted to raise a family. So the summer of 96, we moved to Cochrane just before our daughter was born. And during all that time, I started school. I went to Mount Royal and I took child and youth care. And my sister moved out. She was with me too. And that allowed me to, meet some people that I was so craving that connection. But one thing that was always a constant in my life was crafting. I've always loved to make things. I'm an entrepreneur from way back. I used to, you're gonna laugh, but in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, when bicycle shorts were in, I made hundreds of bicycle shorts and I sold them at school. And it was just word of mouth. People would see them. Where'd you get those? Oh, Shannon made them. Then I made custom baby bibs and I painted them. And that just kind of drove me. I loved to create. I loved the challenge of a new craft and just, kind of going from there. So we welcomed our daughter in October of 96. 97, I finished Mount Royal and decided after doing all that schooling, and I did so well, that wasn't for me. We didn't want to leave our daughter to be raised by someone else. So we made the decision for me to stay home, and my husband started his business and I helped him with that. So that I kind of did the back end administration, but it came time that he wanted to have something. He wanted hats, he wanted t-shirts. So we were looking at moving, and one of the deals was if we sold our house for what we wanted, I had found this amazing embroidery and sewing machine. So it was just a domestic model combo thing. And he said, yeah, if we do that, you can buy this machine. So we did, and I bought the machine, and that's where my journey into embroidery began. And that's where my learning started, because back then, computers, internet, it was all fairly new, the internet. So I found whatever info I could and I ran with it. But one thing that allowed me to do was start to meet other people. So I ran with this home unit for about a year, and I started to get more orders because my husband would put my name out there, and they'd go, oh, where'd you get that t-shirt? Oh, my wife did it. Oh, will she do some for me? So I hit that pivot point. And I'm sure some of you can relate to this, it's where you decide, do I keep this as a hobby, as a side hustle, or do I move into the big world? And so it took me about a year because I was scared to death. It's a lot of money. What if I can't do it? What if I've made a mistake? What if I can't get any customers? So I'm like, okay, you know what? Did my research, found my machine, and in June of that year, I made the huge step and I went big. And when I talk about big, not only is it a time commitment, it's an emotional investment. It was a big financial investment. At that point, I'd never owned a car. I'd always use my parents, and Greg and I, my husband, we dated forever. So he always drove me around. So this was in my mind, it was my Cadillac. So I put that money out there and I thought, okay, baby, go big or go home. And this is the time to go big. So in July of 2002, that's when Shannon Designs was born. Started at home in my basement. My embroidery machine came in through my window. I had the techs for 3 days. The first day they set my machine up, and then I had 2 days of training. And 2 days of training, you think, oh, that's kind of good. It's nowhere near as good. When they left on the third day, I was almost in tears. I thought, oh my God, they're leaving me. And now I've got to do this on my own. But let me tell you, when you've got a payment to make and you've had the support of your husband financially, emotionally, all the rest of it, you're going to do it. And that's what I did. So Shannon Designs was born. And not only did my daughter grow up in our business, but I've had the amazing support of family and friends. I've had employees at different times. I haven't had employees for a while, but they're always in there to step up and help me. So they're a big part of who I am and my brand. So why is branding so important? There's the obvious reasons. You can't have a company without some kind of logo, even if it's just text, you need to have some branding. So the branding is the face of your company. And strong branding gives you a positive professional impression of who you are and your company to your current and future clients. So it just stands for, there's a lot behind a brand, and there's a lot behind building a successful, trusted brand. So when I have clients come in, there's some logo questions and kind of steps that I go through with them. So the first one is your business name final? Because I have different groups. I have, the person that already has their logo, and maybe they're looking at rebranding. So that person falls into a different category. I have the person that, okay, I want to start this business. This is what it is. I kind of like this. So there's more involved. So we kind of go through some different steps, and I find out what their comfort level is. Are they comfortable with the computer? Because if they're not, then we take a different approach. If they are comfortable with the computer, then I give them some starting points. I'm not a graphic designer. I always say I have enough knowledge to be dangerous, but I have an amazing graphic designer that I work with who's worked in this field longer than I have. So she's my kind of my ace in the hole. So there's lots of places that you can get some logo ideas. If you have an idea and you're not sure where to take it, or there may be colors you haven't quite found that yet. So canva.com is a great place to start, as well as Pinterest. I tell clients to build some Pinterest boards, and from that, they'll start to see a theme come through. I use Pinterest a lot in my business, and it helps me get ideas, kind of see what some of the upcoming and current trends are and how I can put my twist on it. And then if you're totally stuck, because I've also had the client come in with literally a crayon drawing, this is kind of what I want. And so that's where we go, okay, we're going to hook you up with a graphic designer. And I do that directly. I make the introduction and the connection. I step out because she knows what I need and she can work with the client to get that logo built. Other questions are, what elements or images does your logo have to include to accurately reflect what you stand for? And it's easy when you see a lot of different logos that sometimes right away you know what it's sometimes right away you know what it's about, and then other times you're kind of not sure. So that's going to do one of two things. You're going to go, okay, whatever, and walk away, or you're going to go, what is this about? And you're going to, invest a little bit of time to find out what that is. What kind of feelings do you want to invoke? Do you want to, is it fun? Is it serious? Classic, innovative? Do you want simple text with your logo? I have some clients, that's all they want is simple text. And that is just as effective as a graphic. Or do you want both? So what are some of the elements that you've chosen to include in your logo that you feel speaks to what you're doing, and why did you choose them?
Hey Shannon, it's Noreen.
Hey Noreen.
So my logo has 3 sort of birds flying from the OMS logo, and for me, I picked that because when I see that image, to me that's freedom, and that's what that's the end result of what I want for my clients is, freedom from their clutter, freedom from their stuff, freedom from, feeling frustrated in their work. And before I picked the logo, I went to everyone and said, what does this mean to you? And every single person said freedom.
Noreen, as soon as you said that, your logo popped up in my mind. I can see your colors, I can see the birds, and that is exactly what you give your clients, is that freedom. And I can speak to that because I'm working with Noreen to get my business and digital life. I think that's one part of being a creative. And I've spoken to Megan Cosenzo, and when you're working on a project, my desk looks like it blew up. But I always know, I don't know. I've just come to accept, I think that's part of my process, and that's okay. It can't stay that way. I hit my point where I'm like, I'm done. I've got to clean this up. And that always happens through a certain phase in my project. And I know it's almost near the end because it's like, okay, we're tying this baby together. So yeah, that's awesome, Noreen. Thanks for sharing. Is there anyone else?
I'm not sure if you're watching the chat, Shannon, so I'll just read a couple here that are coming in the chat. So Jane Lennon says, I wanted to evoke hope, which is why I incorporated a sun coming up. I also wanted my name in dark blue for professionalism.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah. And then we've got Carrie Rose, a heart with chakra colors. I want love to be the theme with hope and happiness as emotions. And then of course, your lovely daughter says my logo includes my favorite color and the name for my business is a bit of a reflection of my personality. Sassy. Yes.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Thank you. All righty. So what you want to do is develop consistency in your brand, and you want to do it across all the platforms that you are on, your website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything that you do, your print media, your business cards. If you do a flyer, you want to keep that consistent because what that does is it's hammering in that, oh, that's Shannon Designs. Oh, I recognize that. Those are her colors. So if they see elements of your logo, and I'll be sharing more about elements later, that my SD, and when it's in my colors, they see that and they go, oh, I recognize that. And maybe it's not an instant, oh, that's Shannon Designs, but they're like, no, I recognize that. And then it'll come to them. And that's what you want. That's part of how you show up. So the reason why you want this is because you want them to know when they see your logo, because logos are about feeling as much as they are about, here's a tangible thing, there's your logo. What do you represent? What's your message? What do you offer? Why do people want to use your services? If you're showing up consistently on all levels, that's doing what you say you're going to do. And you know what? Sometimes, especially in this year of COVID, that things have gone sideways. I've had more things go sideways this year than I have ever had in my entire career. And so many things were out of my control. But that communication with my clients going, you know what, I'm sorry, this product is out of stock, or the shipment's lost, it's coming. I do whatever I can, and that's part of who I am and what I offer. And that's part of what I want to build into my brand, to know people that, you know what, I make mistakes just like the next person. It's all about how I fix those mistakes. So 4 steps in building your brand. So key elements: unique visual expression, your personality that identifies you, and the products and services that differentiate you from your competitors. So in order to do this, you want to put some thought into it, and most people do put a lot of thought into it. But you know what? It never hurts to kind of revisit that again. So define how you want to be perceived. What do you want people to think of you? It's that question, and I heard it yesterday. What do you want people to think of you or say about you when you're not in the room? Because that's when you're going to get that honest feedback. Organize your business based on the promise that you say you're going to deliver to your clients. And you want to communicate your promise and be consistent. You want to create a memorable expression. You know what? There's some personalities that you'll come across in your business that you're not always going to work together. You're not going to work together well. And those are kind of your moment of truth. And just, you worked with them to the best of your ability, and you give them what you say you're going to give them. And that's best that you can do. So you want to make sure that you do that consistently. You want people to see your brand, recognize your brand, and associate it with you and your services. And here's some brands that we all recognize. Oops. And I've done a timeline here, kind of Roots, top one, 1973. Roots is one of my favorite brands. I'm very picky about buying finished product, decorated product, anything with a logo, because I know about the quality. I know what goes into it. And Roots is it's the most expensive sweatshirt I've ever bought that is ready branded, but it is one of my favorite and one of the best. And I will continue to buy that $80 sweatshirt when I want it, because the brand, it delivers what they promise, and it's comfortable, Canadian themed, maybe not Canadian made, but it's good quality product. And it's one of my favorites. And they've done it so that if you look at, you can just see this beaver, and I know that it's Roots. Sometimes it's just the word Roots, but they've taken elements of their logo. Another thing that I really like is that you don't have to see them all together to know who it is. And for any of the Canadian gear, there's always a Canadian maple leaf. There's always a maple leaf on it somewhere. And I like that. Tim Hortons is another one. Many different logo changes throughout the year. They've started in 1964, Canadian hockey player. Now, like Roots, they're worldwide. So you can go to Europe and find a Tim Hortons and get your, extra large double. Canadian Tire, it's probably one of the oldest brands around that's Canadian. 1927, small, humble roots. They've grown into a massive mega chain. And then one that's not Canadian is Roots. And you can see the progression of their logo, how their very first one, I don't even know what that means. Second one is Nike with their swoosh. They updated it to currently, you need to see that swoosh and it's Nike. There's no hesitation. It's just Nike. It is so ingrained in us. We could see it anywhere and you know what it is. So what's your swish and how has your logo evolved? Maybe you're brand new and you're not at this point. The logo Shannon Designs with the purple and the pink, that's how I started. Shannon Designs Embroidery and Sportswear. my graphic designer friend created it for me, and I had no idea what I wanted. So I let her run with it. I gave her my favorite colors, what it needed to say, and that was my brand for a long time. And then I think probably 4 or 5 years ago, my daughter Lindsay and I decided, you know what, it's time to refresh my brand, and that's when we moved to this logo. It says everything I need it to say. It's simple. I really like the colors, and it looks great on a variety of products. So below here we have Lindsay's logos, and I'm gonna get Lindsay to just chime in here on her logo progression.
Yeah, well, it's it recently took another little change because I've really been loving flamingos for a long time, and I love the visual image of like of all the flamingos standing together. It kind of like as soon as I saw that on Canva when I was playing around one day, I was like, that's like what I picture our fempreneurs to be like. If we were all birds, we'd be pretty pink flamingos hanging out by the water, sipping drinks. I know they don't do that, but we would be. And it's like that beachy, like summery, and the pink, and then I figured out how to make them kind of glow on the black. Anyways, so then when Fempreneurland became an idea in FemTeam, I was like, it's got to have the flamingos in it. So we kind of have 3 logos now. We have the original marketing school logo, which is in the middle. And then we have the circle logo, which definitely looks better on like clothing and mugs and stuff than the marketing school logo. It just pops better. But now we've got the Fempreneurland kind of thing. So anyways, I don't know. I don't even know what the point of that story is, but that's what's happening.
No, the point of it, Lindsay, is what you've done is, and most people will do it subconsciously, you've maintained your colors. There's black, you've got your purple, and you've got the pink. Usually in one logo, one graphic, when you set your slides up in Canva, you have those colors in there. So you're still maintaining your brand consistency. And that's why I wanted to talk about the evolution. Is that it's okay. Your business is going to grow and take some different directions, just like you do in your own life. And so you're just doing that. It's just another progression of your business. So logo components. So, oh gosh, sorry guys, I keep doing that. So the right-hand side of the page is my logo board. So what it's showing is I have 7 different logos, and you're like, holy crap, do I need that? No, you don't need that. This is just me being type A, and just, I need to see it all out. Most of us are pretty visual, and I like to see the different logos. And what you want is you want a logo that's going to work on in different mediums. And that's where one fallback I see when people come to me with a logo that's already made. Often, if they go for something super fine and wispy and feminine, you can get anything to work in print media. So on your website, on your business cards, stickers, brochures, anything like that. But sometimes when it comes to embroidery, and because that's my main business, and normally that's what people are coming to see me for, is embroidery, sometimes that's not going to work. So for me, I wanted to make sure that I had different versions of my logo they're going to work on black, and they're going to work on white. So that's why you see on the left side of the page that it's just white, and on the right is black. How's it going to look? And then the 2 arrows here, those are the logos that I use the most. So depending on whether I'm sharing it on Instagram or Facebook, on my website, when I do quotes and proposals, I will have one of my 4A versions, the square logo, usually in the bottom right corner. And that's just part of my branding. When I do a quote, I want it on every page. Another important thing is, especially if you get your logo designed by a graphic designer, is request your Pantone colors. Pantone colors, or PMS, is Pantone numbering system, and it's universal. And so it translates into printing. That's where I see a lot of logos that, depending on what it's on, the colors aren't matching. They're in the right group, like they're in the right range, but they're not exact. And I'm a real stickler for that. So part of my process is educating clients about what they should have in their logo and why it's important. You want different versions of your logo called vector files, so that when someone resizes that, it's going to resize accordingly. And the best way that I explain this is you have a picture. And if you take that picture on your computer and you increase it, what happens? It pixelates. It gets all bumpy and jagged and it doesn't look very well. So that's why we want to have a vector file format. So that's CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, EPS, which is encapsulated PostScript. Any of those files are mathematical formulas, and they will resize, increase or decrease accordingly. And then there's the file formats that you're going to use on a regular basis. Your PDF, portable document file, PNG, portable network graphic. And those are the ones, the PNG is the one that comes with you can get it with no background, so that whatever you put it on, your logo is going to show true. And then just a JPEG. Does anybody have any questions about the logos and about the formats?
What is your favorite to do on a garment? Which logo?
If I'm going big, like a jacket back size, and jacket back is anything that's bigger than 6 inches, I will do my 1A. I'll do that one. And then on ball caps, I like to do just my SD. On the wearer's lower left, I'll do that. And then sometimes on the side, I'll put Shannon Designs, embroidery. Just Shannon Designs on the side. So it just depends on what I'm putting it on. If I'm doing pens, it's 1A. On my business card, I have the 4A.
Okay, cool.
So Shannon, is a hex number the same as a Pantone?
Yes, it allows me, I can, it's still a numbered color system, and it allows me to find your color, because I can translate, sometimes clients will give me CMYK, and sometimes they'll give me RGB, as long as there's something. But yes, a hex I can take and I can translate into a Pantone, because most of my, the embroidery thread that I use all has, for the most part, a Pantone number associated with it. So it just allows me to find your thread color and to use it. I keep a file for all my clients and I keep all those notes in it. So yes, a hex will work as well. So swag. I remember hearing this years ago. Some guy came in and said, yeah, I want to get some swag for my company. And I'm thinking, what planet am I on? What is he talking about? And so when I looked it up, the Urban Dictionary definition is stuff we all get. So stuff we all get is just part of it's just what, you go to a trade show, you get a bag with a logo on it, you get a pen, you get a pencil. So I just thought that was kind of funny with, we tend to use words that we maybe don't know what it's all about. So swag or promo items. Swag sounds more fun than promo items. So 8 out of 10 consumers have at least one promotional product in their house. And you'd be very, very hard pressed to go into any home and find nothing. So whether it's a pen or a magnet, a notepad, you name it, a mug, you'll have something, every house. 6 out of 10 consumers will keep their promotional products with them for up to 2 years. So that's what you're looking for when you spend your time and money investing in a promotional product to give to your clients. What's the staying power of it? And still, hands down, mugs are one of the more popular. Water bottles, pens. Years ago, I was very picky about doing my, what I chose to invest my money into for promotional products, because I didn't have a lot of money to do that. Pens came up. So I'm like, what I'm going to do is, and when you do a promo for yourself, it's called self promo. So they had a special on for self promo. So I did these pens and they came in all these fun, bright colors, did my logo in black. 5-6 years later, I still see those pens floating around. I see them throughout town. Yeah, Lindsay's got one there. Those are my new ones. But everybody uses a pen. I have them in my purse. You know, you're somewhere, oh, I need a pen. Oh, here's a pen. It has your logo on it. And
Pens are awesome, especially if they're like really good ones, because people love pens that work well, right?
a good
And they will
pen.
hoard those things, right? A good pen, they'll hoard them.
And that's one thing. So the pen company sent me a bunch of pens. So I'm looking for what's going to work in my budget, which was pretty little, but what works nice too. And you're right, Lisa, because yeah, a pen that writes nice is a coveted item. And that's one thing I like about the pens that Lindsay showed. They write nice. And I have a friend on here, my good friend Sherry. She comes in and steals from my stash all the time. She's like, I'm out of pens.
Yeah.
So who knows where my pens are?
I think I have two of the black and tealy ones.
Mhm.
They're awesome. I
Yeah,
love
and
them.
you know what? Best bang for your buck. They're so inexpensive, and it's a great way. I have nothing leaves my shop without something branded in it. Whether it's a business card, whether it's a pen, I throw something in there. It's a little, hey, thanks for doing business with me. Here you go. Here's a pen, and it's useful.
I'm working at a friend's place. We're working from home, and these are her absolute favorite pens, is these black and blue ones from my mom. She steals them and she hoards them at work. She has a friggin' pile of them in her desk, and she won't let her technicians steal them because they're like children and they go missing.
You know what? If somebody's going to steal something,
It's a pen.
it's a pen. Exactly. So that's why they're the cheap and cheerful and super effective branding product. So 85% of people will do business with the advertiser after receiving that promo product because they're using it and they're like, oh yeah, you need something for your business. Well, I know someone that can do it. Here's her pen. Here's her contact info. That is the best form of advertising, is word of mouth. And for the longest time, I solely relied on word of mouth. And, as I've learned more and I've been growing, that, that's expanding, but it makes a big difference. 89% of the consumers can recall the advertiser even 2 years after receiving the promo product. 63% of consumers will give away their promo products when they're no longer useful. And that'll happen. We do it at our house. It's like, we have 25 water bottles. What the heck? So usually it's when grandma comes to visit. Grandma will kindly go through my cupboards and she'll pull out stuff and she'll have it on the kitchen table. She goes, okay, it's time to go. And there's some bottles that I keep pulling back out. It's like, no, you can't give that away. That's my favorite. Using promotional items help to grow and elevate your brand. So how do they do this? They resonate with your customers. So that's where you do want to put that time and effort in, because they're thoughtful and they're useful. They increase brand awareness. And what that does is it increases your customer traffic and it helps build sales. It broadens your reach. They can be cost effective, like those pens. And again, people like them and they're useful, like the pens. Stickers are also another one that, I don't know, when I was in public school, that was all the rage to collect stickers. And you would trade stickers with your friends. And the scratch and sniff stickers were the most coveted ones, or the sparkly ones. So you can get a lot of reach out of something small.
My favorite is when the oil field guys get so excited when the reps come on site because they have hard hat stickers.
I never knew.
Grown men love stickers.
I didn't know that until my husband told me that. And I remember looking at him going, what? Stickers?
Yep. They love
it's
stickers.
a big deal. It's a big deal. Another thing, when my husband had his company, he had at least a dozen embroidered hats in his truck, because it's amazing that guys will come and say, hey, last time you were here, you gave so-and-so a hat. I want a hat. And he'd come onto site next time and there he'd see his hats. They want to wear them. They want them. So they're really effective. And just, you can keep it simple. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to spend tons of money. You can, you know, you can do something simple. Like bottom left here, this is a pillow that Lindsay made at one of our make and takes. And, you know, it's purple, it's black, it's simple, it's fun. And here's some more examples. You know, again, trying to give stuff that's going to be used daily. Top left here, those are Yeti cups, and I put some stickers on them, my logo, my pens, mouse pads and business cards. I had a guy come in and he wanted to give his crew, he worked on the set of Winona Earp, and they—
You know who else worked on that set? Is she here? Where's
I
Megan?
know, Megan. Yeah, so he came in, he only wanted embroidery done. So I did embroidery. He brought me in some jackets for his guys. So I did the embroidery, and then I made some mugs, and I did one for him and I did one for the main character, Winona. So that was pretty cool. These hats in the middle, local business just down the street from me. They did a rebrand. A new person bought the business. Hats are like pen. It's almost like currency, you know, it just, you're not buying likes, but it endears people. People like to receive gifts. People like to give gifts. And your level of, you know, depending on what your love language is, some people like to give more than they like to receive, and some are the opposite. So we did some fun hats, and initially he was going to do silver logos on all the hats. And so I talked to him a little bit. I'm like, you know what, let's try this. I think you'll be surprised at how much people like it. All the colored versions went first. So where it was the pink mesh on the back with the pink logo on the front, or yellow or blue, they all went fast, and he was surprised. So that's kind of cool when that happens. And then here's a logo on the bottom right. This is a client I've done for years. He has an oil field company, and normally his logo is the graphic and text. But as time has progressed, he has moved to using, you know, like on the front of hats or toques, just the ship with the sails, and then on the back of the caps, he's got his company name. So there's different ways to use your logo, and these are just some cool examples. So now that you've done all this, you have your logo, you've got your color set, you want to use your logo effectively. So one hack is to do, and it's just to help grow your community. And who doesn't like a contest? So Instagram giveaway collaboration. Everyone has entered a draw or a giveaway on Instagram, and you know, there's certain steps you got to follow. You got to usually like all the businesses that are involved. If there's more than one, you know, comment a friend's name, and it's just about sharing and growing. And for doing that, they want to, you know, give you a gift to say thank you. So what are some contests that you've signed up for that you just loved? That you thought, you know what, that's a really cool, that's a really cool.
The one I won.
That's a good one, the one you won.
But it was a larger one with a bunch of different local makers. And so, and it was kind of neat because it was right at the beginning of COVID. So, you know, I got a whole whack of stuff. And it turns out one of the prizes I won, the maker lived up around the corner from me. And I had no idea she lived that close to me. And she walks by my house every day. So.
Yeah. So look what you learned from that. So not only did you get some cool prizes, you liked some companies that maybe you didn't know exist. You found some companies in your community that you didn't know were there. So it's kind of like, oh, so it really does grow your business on many different levels.
Can I say something?
Yes.
The winner of our massive giveaway is here. Letitia won that massive giveaway that we did as Fempreneurs, and she's here. She's been here every day attending the conference. She won a whole bunch of stuff. I sent her a book and something else. I can't even remember what I sent you, Letitia, but yeah, like, so those giveaways are fantastic.
Yeah. And you know what? And Letitia, I haven't forgotten about you. I saw that you said, you sent me a message that it doesn't matter. I gave Letitia, she got a hat, a cool knit toque with a faux fur pom-pom and a mug, and then a gift certificate. So yeah, so that's one way that she can experience many different businesses. And you know, I don't know, I love winning stuff. Who doesn't? Okay. So talking about what's hot for giveaways, COVID has forever changed us, and one of the more popular in-demand products is face coverings. So I have two examples here. I have one in the top left that I did for a company, On Growing Works, and we put their logo on it so that when their staff goes out on site, that they, you know, they're continuing their brand. It's, you know, representing, hi, we're safe, we're supposed to be here, this is who we are. Below it, those are my favorite face coverings to do, the fun ones. You know, just a Hawaiian print, and beside it is a hand sanitizer keeper. So I customized it just to match the mask. Comes with an empty bottle and a carabiner. You throw your own hand sanitizer in there, and it's a nice gift to give to someone. And if you want to do it for your company, you can brand it, because we're all using it every single day. And every one of us has a mask in each pocket, in our purse, in our glove box, hanging from a rearview mirror. You may as well brand it and make it effective. Again, the pens, this picture in the middle, this is a former coworker of my friend Sherry, and she was moving on to a new job position. And sassy, and these are the ones I love to do the most. They're so fun, and couldn't get a better advertisement than that. So just, you know, a fun mug. It was customized just for her, and yeah, nice and bright. Drinkware, stainless steel water bottles. Did them for a ringette team, and they had their name and number on the back, which is important, just so that at the end of the day, when there's a pile of them kind of kicking around, that they know whose is whose. USB sticks, especially working from home, these have always been popular, but use it to your advantage. If you want to invest in some tech tools, you can do a USB stick, do it branded with your logo. There's some of my favorite things to use as a branded stick. I've gotten them from a few different companies, and one, I can always find them, and you know, I know who they're there. So I have one from a tax accountant, so that, you know, whenever I see it, I'm like, oh, you know, I have a question, I can reach out to that person. The one below the mug picture is a coloring book. Mental health, this year's really taken a toll on our mental health, and especially now that businesses are doing, they're not able to do their team building often, or they want to do some kind of conference, they like to put together swag bags and they'll send them to their staff. And, you know, the staff is excited because it's like, look at this cool gift I got. So, you know, this is one thing you do, coloring book with pencil crayons, you brand it with your logo, you throw a mug in there, you throw a pen in there. For Lindsay, we did some branded lip chat. That's, you know, any kind of fun products. The other one is custom socks. They're really popular this year. Throw your boyfriend's face on there, throw your husband's face, your cats, your dogs, your kids. Just some different items that are more popular this year. So how to run an Instagram giveaway. And we touched on this earlier, but it's especially now when people, if you're a brick and mortar like I am, you're not going to get that traffic that maybe you once did, or we're restricted in the kind of traffic we can get and the amount of traffic we can get. And this is an easy, this is kind of a no-brainer to do and to run. And the massive giveaway, the Fempreneur one that we did, that's the first one I'd ever been a part of. And thank goodness that the other girls knew what to do, because I sure didn't. So it was neat to learn how you do it, how you post it, how you share it. And that's all something that I learned from the Fem team. So you want to choose your prize for your giveaway. Again, it doesn't have to break the bank. Determine the entry criteria for your contest. And normally that's like my page, follow my page, share this post, tag a friend. And if you tag more than one friend, some of them will do, you know, it'll give you extra entries. So decide on the goal of your Instagram account. And usually it's just to grow your business. It's to increase your reach, get more followers. But it's one thing to get followers, but you want to keep them. Consider a brand partnership so that you're able to offer those bigger gifts. Like Allison was talking about how, you know, she got this massive giveaway and it introduced her to not just one new business, but many. Select your campaign hashtags and use them consistently with, even if it's just with everyone that's involved in the contest, make sure they all use the same hashtags. And
Shannon, I wanted to say that when you did the, it sounds really silly, but when you did the name your mascot thing on Instagram, I thought that was a really fun way of like getting different types of people involved. It wasn't just a like and share, like a kid might not be able to do that, but our little people were able to like, oh, I want the monkey's name to be the sock.
Oh, yes.
Be that. Same with the gnomes for the do-it-yourself kits who did over Christmas, and like, please send your picture of your created gnome and their name. I thought that was a really fun way of getting like a family involved to be familiar with who you are, who did that fun activity come from, and then we could win another kit or we could win, you know, the sock. So I just thought those were really fun ways of getting the whole family involved in knowing who you are and what you can do. Because then when you gave the little unicorn thing to the girl who won, like that little girl wears that shirt so proudly because she got her sparkle thing because she won that contest when we were walking by on that sidewalk sale or whatever. So anyways, I just wanted to share. I thought that was a really fun way of getting some engagement and extra traffic on your page.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, and you know what? And you don't, sometimes you do the contest and you put so much into it, then you're kind of, okay, it's over with. But it's that lasting effect that you want to, you know, people are going to remember, oh yeah, remember I won this. And like you said, wearing that shirt every day. Like I've done that where when we first moved here, the family across the street, she was pregnant with her second child, and the son that they had, I made a t-shirt. They asked me to make one, you know, I'm the big brother or something. I had to make him another one because he wore that shirt out. But, you know, so yeah, they came back to me. It was just one shirt, but, you know, she has a business that she runs. So she's come to me for, you know, product for her business, or she's recommended me. So it's all about creating those relationships. And that's part of, you want people to feel that they can trust you and use you, or I'm stuck, I need an idea. So, you know, maybe Shannon will have something and here's my budget. And that's one of my favorite. I'm really good at using a budget. And when I ask people for their budget, it's not because I want to know how much I can get. I want to know what I can give them for their budget, because budgets vary. And I'm, you know what, I'm still frugal. And especially when it comes to teamwear, I'm really conscious of my price points. And, you know, I know what it's like to have a family, you know, 2 or 3 kids in a sport. I only had one and I know how expensive that was. So yeah, just being mindful of all that so that you have a lasting effect from any contest that you do. And then the last thing you want to do is, launch and promote your Instagram contest. So it's a lot easier when you have more than one person collaborating with you, because then you can all share it and it's going out to many different networks. So this is where I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to pull out pen and paper and design your Instagram giveaway. And I've got the criteria here so that we talked about on the last page. If I got to stop doing that, just prizes that, you know, prizes that you're going to give away, your criteria, etc. So I'm going to put 2 minutes on my phone here. I just want you guys to write down whatever comes to mind. And then we're going to share some. I'll mute myself and time starts now. Okay. I know it hasn't been 2 minutes, but I don't know why it seems like that's a really long time. So does anyone want to share what they've come up with about what they could do for an Instagram giveaway?
You just gave me a really great idea, Shannon. And because I have that book launch next week, I thought I could incorporate a giveaway into that event and have people sign up for the event and like my Instagram. And I would like give them different prizes and stuff like that. So I've got my pen ready, writing things down.
That's awesome, Megan. And you know what? Use what you have too. Like, I mean, give away a signed copy of your book.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
And I was thinking something cool like a shirt or a hat that said like 0 limits or something because it's related to the book. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Lindsay's going
awesome.
woot woot.
Megan, can
Good.
I show you mine, Shannon?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just did up. I don't know if you can see it. I can read it to you. But
Yeah.
I did. So yeah. I thank you for this. I've been wondering how you do these. Tag me at Cherbers Yoga. Free class by me, and then I'm gonna throw in a free yoga block. Which where's my yoga? Oh. You'll get a free yoga block, like a really nice pattern, and a scented oil. So watch for this on my page. And then brand partners. I mean, I'd love to partner with someone that sells scented oil. I don't know if there's anyone here.
Oh, I know someone, Miss
Do
Carrie
you?
Rose. Miss Carrie Rose. She sells Young
Carrie, I'd
Living.
love to partner with Carrie. And yeah, I had hashtag yoga 2021 and then open for 1 week. I don't know if that's amount of time or.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And Lindsay's favorite word, that scourgency. So you want to create that. You want people to act on it now because it happens to every single one of us. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that later. And then you forget. We've got too much going on in your life. So if you create that scourgency, they do it now and it's done. And that's one thing I'm really working on doing is just, working with Noreen, it's eat the frog, do the thing that you don't want to do first and get it over with. And not that a contest is something you want to get over with, but just do it now so you don't forget.
Yeah, I'm excited for your scourgency stories about the make and takes and the DIY crafting kits.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna get moving then.
No. I don't want to rush. I want to hear more. I want to hear more giveaway ideas, but I just wanted to mention that I'm excited about that.
Oh, good. Okay. Is there anyone else that wants to share? That was awesome. Thank you,
I
Christina.
have two. I had two ideas.
Okay.
One is to give away a sleep package for you and a sleep package for a friend, and then include with that a mug and something like some sort of toy or something for like the kid. So it's like a parent, like a thermal, like an insulated mug, and then something for the child. So it's like, so both people get something. So it's like giving to a friend. So it's sort of encouraging more sharing. And then the other one was for the restful sleep that I talked about yesterday, and creating a challenge around that, and then having a giveaway of a mug and a notebook. So, and maybe throwing some of my favorite herbal tea or something like that to add to that. So.
And you know what? That's great. I like your idea of throwing in some of your favorite herbal tea, because you're sharing part of yourself and it's personal, and it's like, yeah, this is what I really like. And I, like how many times do we, if we go to a restaurant that we like, that we will share that with friends? I went to this really awesome restaurant. The service was great. The portions were amazing. Just really enjoyed our time there. We do that all the time. So make it work for your business. Make it work for, who you are and what you're doing. You get yourself out there, because if you don't put yourself out there, how are people going to find you? Anyone else?
Shannon, I can share, and I also have a question.
Okay.
So I've been thinking about this for quite a while, but I need to approach some partners for sure. So the price could be like a combo of some decor accessories, or because it would go together with my guide, and I would throw in a styling session. The entry criteria would be to follow.
Mhm.
The goal is just to give awareness of the service and the guide. I do want to build up my list. I need to find a way of partnering with some stores or service providers, like somebody who sells drapes, somebody who has like an art gallery, that kind of services. And then the hashtag could be accessorize my living room or 5 decor superpowers, something to go with my guide with a time limit of a week, or it's a week. The right time limit is 2 weeks too much. So that would be my first question. And then my second question is, I see a lot of giveaways where people say, if you share it to your story, it's one more entry. If there's some conditions. So how does the giver, how would I check if they have actually shared it to a story? Just like, is there an app for that, or do you keep track manually? How do you do that?
You know what? I'm going to let Lindsay and a couple of the other ladies who are part of our Fempreneur one, because I wasn't part of that. So there is a way that you can keep track. So Lindsay and I think Allison.
Yeah, I'm going to let Allison or someone else take that, because I was like, I don't want to do that. So
yeah. That was too much for my brain. And I just went with, how to do it. Awesome. Do it. So Allison, can you speak to that?
Rebecca did most of it, but you can, like, I've heard and I've done it just in a regular old spreadsheet. So when somebody tags you, they need to tag you in the post when they share you, so that you get a notification that the post is being shared, and then it'll be in your messages, and then you can just add the 5 extra entries from there. There are ways of doing it online, and I've never done it that way. And I know Rebecca did it for our giveaway, and I don't know if she's here.
I don't think Rebecca is here. So Jessica, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Rebecca, and I'm going to ask her just if she could share that with you, so you have more concrete, because I don't want to leave you hanging, but I also don't want to give you nothing. So Rebecca we'll pass that.
Selena's in the comments too. Selena knows how to do that kind of stuff too, Jessica.
Oh, awesome.
So reach out to Selena as well. And also I know that if you use a specific hashtag that isn't, even if it is commonly used, you can actually follow that hashtag. And if you look in your Instagram profile at that specific hashtag, you'll see basically a grid that looks like an Instagram profile, but all it is the posts that have been hashtagged with that hashtag, and it goes in chronological order. So that's another way of sort of seeing who's used your hashtag. But that doesn't get followers, so that's not really the best way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I tell them use the hashtag and follow, then that would be a way of finding out how many or who used the hashtag and who's following. It just sounds like there's a lot of things to do. So I was wondering if there's a way of making it easier, or maybe just do a giveaway for people that follow you, or ask them to follow you instead of sharing to stories until we got that down.
I think for your first one, you can keep it simple. And I know when we did ours, we each kept track of who liked and who shared. So we did that. Each person that was part of the collaboration did that. And then we all gave them into Rebecca. So yeah, there's more than one way to kind of do it. And especially for your first one, you may want to keep it a little more simple. So Selena and Rebecca will be great resources for some of those questions. That part to me is still new. So I'm still learning, always learning. Thanks everybody for sharing. You have shared some great ideas. And before we go, I just want to remind everyone, drop your Instagram handle and your Facebook handle in the chat so that we can, if you haven't already, that you can follow people that have been part of this talk. And we can keep this going. So the big thing with COVID that most of us in our lives, in our business, in our work life, we had to pivot and learn how to do things new ways. So for me, the big thing that I did to pivot my business and to keep the momentum going and just remind people that, hey, I'm still here. I'm still operating. I can still serve you, was I joined Fempreneurs. So I joined the 6-week marketing course in June. I'd been a lurker on the sidelines for about a year and kind of going, oh, geez, I don't know, is it for me? It seems like everybody has a service. Where am I more, more product based? Will I fit? So when COVID hit, I'm like, you know what? I need to do something different. I need to figure this out. I've put too much of my heart and soul into this business to kind of roll over and let a pandemic take me down. So I had to figure out ways to grow my community. So to start off with, once I kind of got, having someone tell you, having the government tell you that you have to shut your business down and you can't operate, you can't have customers in. I almost was grieving, is like, I went through the disbelief and I cried and then I got angry, and then it was like, okay, dust yourself off, baby, pull your pants up. Let's figure out how we're going to do this. So the first thing that we came up with, and it was Lindsay and I brainstorming with my husband, was, the community needs something. We need something. And, what can I do in a little way just to show that I care and that other people care and that people are seeing, everybody just wants to be seen. And so we came up with the Cochrane Strong stickers. So we had 100 of them that we made up, and we went to Facebook and said, okay, these are stickers that we're doing. We're going to give them away for free. We'll even deliver them. So nominate someone that needs to pick me up, that you feel is exemplifying what being a strong community member is, helping other people. And the response was amazing. We went through those 100 stickers in no time. We delivered each one, whether it was in a mailbox, whether it was just on a doorstep. And, 6 months, 7 months later, I see those stickers everywhere, and it makes me proud, because it was something I was doing it for me. I needed to pick myself up, and then seeing the effect that it had, that people really wanted, they wanted the sticker and they display it proudly. That was a big pick me up, and it showed me that I can serve my community in a little way. It doesn't have to be something big and fancy, but it allowed me to, I got up, I had my purpose, and it just reminded me that you make your purpose. You have a choice every morning when you get up, and you can have a good day, you can have a bad day, you can just go with it. And that's one thing that, I think my daughter Lindsay can probably speak to this too. It was just, we did it together. It was fun. We went and we handed these out, and people were so thankful.
It was so nice to get up and get out of the house, go to the shop. We put on a movie, and we were like an assembly line, and we made stickers, and I kept tabs on who had one and who didn't. And then once we were done making stickers for the day, we went out and we delivered them to people, and the smiles it put on people's faces made you feel so good. And that is what got us through the first lockdown, because we would have gone crazy if we couldn't have left the house.
Yeah. And, my shop was a godsend. I love my shop. I have amazing landlords. They're another reason why I was able to continue doing what I love to do. And so it's find the little things. The marketing school, it's going to bring me to my next level, whatever that looks like. It's opening my world in ways that I never expected. Been a solopreneur for 18 years. I've had staff on and off. My family and friends have always been an amazing source of support, my cheering section. But this group, if you haven't already signed up, do it. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're not. I don't feel alone anymore. I have a group of women that have my back, that will kick my butt when I need it, that push me out of my comfort zone. I've spent more time living outside of my comfort zone than I have in my entire life. I have anxiety, and there's certain things that my friends can attest to, that, oh man, they see me spinning, and this is different. It is a little bit anxiety producing doing all these new things, but it's exciting too. I got up this morning and I expected that I would be a bundle of nerves doing this presentation, and I'm not. You know why? Because I'm sharing knowledge that I have with other women that need it, that want it. And that just puts a whole new perspective on things. So I'm so thankful to Lindsay and the ladies, and I'm so excited to see what's going to come in the future. So another thing that I did was make and takes. So this was I don't know, second, third lockdown, whatever we're in, I wanted to bring ladies into my shop to see, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I want to share my love of making and creating with them. So I did my test group with ladies from Fem Team. So I did three make and takes, and I think a total of probably 35 women went through my make and takes. And we did pillows or t-shirts or sweatshirts. I had 2 groups that did Christmas t-shirts, like Naughty Elf, Sassy Elf, Sleepy Elf. We did some, I did Dear Santa, he did it. Dear Santa, she did it. The creativity was amazing. And that's what I love. I like it when people come to me and say, hey, I really like this. I want to make it. So often I have people come to me with a copyright design that I can't reproduce, but I can find a way that we can achieve that same effect and make it their own. And that just it invigorates me. It keeps me going. I've been doing, and I didn't realize till now that I've been doing essentially make and takes forever. Usually it's my girlfriends, we get together and we may all do something different. Some of us will paint, some of us will, I don't know, knit, whatever. We'll all get together and do something different, but we're all together. And we need that togetherness. We need that connectivity. And when the last lockdown happened and we couldn't do that anymore, we couldn't do anything in-house, I came up with the Made by Me gnome kits. Gnomes were so hot and they're so cute and fun and easy to make. We sold over 100 gnome kits. So we packaged it all together, and I made my first YouTube video, thanks to Lindsay, of just putting the gnome together. All age groups, people had a certain time. It was until the 18th of December until the kits ran out. So I didn't make it to the 18th of December because my kits ran out. And it was awesome. And then I had people share pictures of their gnomes and what their gnome names were. Some of the gnome names were absolutely hilarious. There was one group that it was through a friend of a friend. They shared the picture with her and they put googly eyes on their gnomes. So there was no right or wrong. Any age group could do it. All the instructions were there. Everything was clear. It took 15 minutes max, maybe depending on if you had, little kids helping you or not. And people are still talking about them. So they were a lot of fun. And I hope once things are kind of more normal, I can go back to doing my in-house make and takes. And it was just so fun to bring women together. And, I met new people come into my shop. And it just, I've got a bunch of ideas on my list of what I want to do coming up, depending on what our restrictions are. So it was a lot of fun. And here's a page. I just have some testimonials from some awesome people. Some of you will recognize Miss Carrie Rose and my friend Sherry and her son Brady and their little gnome. This is kind of what keeps me going, just, helping people and helping them share what they want to share, whether it's a corporate logo, whether it's something fun, like the Merry and Bright signs we did, or the gnomes. My nephew Brady there, that was his Halloween costume one year, he did Twister. So it's always a lot of fun, and I get to meet new people and try different things. So we've come to the end here, and thank you so much. I know I probably went a little bit over time, and I appreciate you all staying and listening and participating and hearing your amazing ideas. What I'm giving away is there'll be a copy of a PDF of my presentation, so that if you need to go back and kind of refresh your memory, it'll all be there. As well as to the end of January, wrong month. I'm giving a free setup for embroidery of the logo that you supply. So it's a $45 value. It's a one-time setup fee. So just submit your logo, and you don't have to, you can get one item done if you want. But yeah, I'd love to help you, and yeah, just reach out before the end of the month. And then coming up next, we have the amazing Rayanne. She'll be from 10 to 11, and she'll be speaking of color-coded personalities. So doing more of what works and less of what doesn't. So I can't wait to watch that one as well. All right, ladies, that is it. If there's any questions, I can field them. And if not, thank you so much for staying and participating and being such an awesome audience and letting me do this and do it without freaking out. Thank you.
You did amazing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I sent a message to Carrie Rose a little while ago. I was like, I think this is the most excited and positive engagement we've had in any of our presentations. Like everybody was like so jacked when you set your timer and we were like designing our giveaways. Like I could feel the energy. Like everyone was like, yeah. Like it was so cool.
Awesome. Thank you guys. You know what? You guys allowed me to do that because it's a non-judgmental space. If I stumbled over my words, it didn't matter. I could catch my breath and just go. And yeah, you know what? I do want to teach more. I do want to share more. And now I know that I have the confidence in myself and know that I can. So that's awesome. So all the Canva was worth it. Creating all the slides. Lindsay holding my hand. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And so